Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here, and today we are going to be talking about more bad news for Cloud9. Yesterday we talked about the fact that Berserker lost his passport, he lost his visa, whatever that whole situation is going on. So Berserker seems like he's going to miss the start of the LCS season. It sounds like he might not be back until like week 4 of the LCS regular season, but it sounds like as long as there's no other hiccups or anything like that, he will be back at some point during the LCS regular season. He should be all good to go. Hopefully nothing else crazy happens, but that is not the end of the bad news for Cloud9. Obviously, today we are talking more about this stuff revolving Sven. And we know that he's had his fair share of visa issues as well. This offseason, we know he went back to Europe to get his green card. He was going to try and get his green card. There was a world where C9 was going to have a bunch of imports still, like if Summit stayed with the team, and depending on what they were going to do in the mid lane, there was all these different options of, potentially C9 was going to need Sven to have his green card if he wanted to play. Now, where C9's at right now, their only import is Berserker, so it didn't matter as much. But either way, he was finally going to get approved for his green card, so he went back to Europe. He was doing that, and then apparently the U.S. Embassy lost his visa or lost some of the paperwork or whatever, and it added some delays to the whole thing. And that's been this whole situation where it was going to delay him getting his green card, it was going to delay him getting his visa or whatever, and that's kind of where we've been at recently. But that was a couple of weeks ago. It seemed like everything was still going to be okay. And yeah, that's kind of what we're going to be talking about. So recently he just tweeted out this. He said, Berserker lost his passport? How unfortunate. And this has been so memeable in so many different ways. Like when I first saw this tweet, to me, this meant like, oh, Berserker lost his passport? How unfortunate. Like, hey, they lost my stuff this offseason too. Now you're losing your stuff. Like, hey, I feel you. I get it. Wow, that sucks. What the heck's going on? Everybody at Cloud9's losing everything, or people are getting their stuff lost or whatever. So that's kind of funny. Then you also have the angle of, oh, Berserker lost his passport. I'm going to take his job and be the AD carry now, which is also funny. And then there's like the third level or the third layer to this tweet of, oh, Berserker lost his passport. Sven is the one that stole it. So, Sven needs a passport and visa and stuff. Now Sven has it. Now Sven's going to be able to go back to the LCS. Super, super funny in so many ways. And obviously I'm glad that they are able to make jokes about what is a really shitty situation. Ultimately, like I said, it shouldn't matter that much because I do think Berserker's going to be able to get back into America fine. Eventually, it's probably going to take a couple of weeks, but it does seem like that will be able to happen. But on the Sven side of things, there is still what he is going through, and this is very, very interesting because Cloud9 was obviously in Korea for their boot camp. Sven could not go to that Korean boot camp because he was stuck in Europe trying to get his visa, trying to get his green card, all that stuff done. And Cloud9's been there for a while. And then Cloud9 finally, they retweeted copy saying, hey, I'm coming back for rank 1 next time, Korea. This was on June 3rd, sounding like, hey, their boot camp's done, sounding like he's leaving. Then C9 LOL, they tweeted out on June 5th, boot camp complete. And it's all the Cloud9 guys, Fudge, Max, Berserker, Blabber, Jensen, they're all in Korea. They're all leaving. And again, so that means their boot camp's done. They're all coming back to the United States. They're going to be here starting to scrim practice. The LCS season starts in like 8 or 9 days. This is like not this coming weekend, but the weekend after that. So they need to get to Los Angeles. They need to start playing, practicing, and scrimming. But if we check up with Svanilin or Svaniland, I don't even know why this is his name. I don't know what this means, anything like that. You can see that Sven is clearly still in Europe. Now again, Cloud9 tweeted this, boot camp complete on June 5th. I'm recording this video on June 8th. This is 3 days later where Sven is still in Europe. And he's been doing good in Europe. He is now ranked 35 in European solo queue. Again, this is all on support. You can see Rakan. Yes, he still gets autofilled to 80 carry sometimes, but Yuumi, Rakan, Nautilus, Nami, Ezreal, Senna, he's playing all support games, and he's grinding. He's playing a lot. You can just see how many games he's played in the last couple of days. But he's still in Europe. This guy he doesn't have his visa and passport yet. He doesn't have his green card or whatever yet, and he's not in Los Angeles, and at least at the time of recording this video, he's not heading to Los Angeles. He just played a game 4 hours ago of solo queue. So it is very, very real possibility that Sven will also not be playing with Cloud9 at the start of the LCS season. And some people might think that's a little bit of a reach, like, hey, the season's still 9 days away or whatever. Like, he still has time to get all this stuff done. He's got to be close to getting, these things done so he can get over to the United States and stuff. But when we look at what's been going on with Cloud9, you will see that Cloud9 recently signed all these players. This is the C9 LOL Twitter account. Again, they tweeted out, thank you to Alorim, who's obviously a top laner, Wixie, who is a AD carry, and Trevor, LOL, Trevor Roy, who is a support. I'd never heard of Wixie, or I think I've heard of Wixie before. I'd never heard of Trevor before, and obviously I'm familiar with Alorim, but they said thank you to these guys because they subbed in for the Cloud9 Academy team, because the Cloud9 Academy guys have been scrimming with the LCS players, that is Darshan, that is King, and Destiny, because Sven is not back in the United States yet, and we don't know if he's going to be back in time for the LCS season. So again, they signed these players to play Academy, so their Academy guys can scrim and practice and prepare, and potentially have to play some LCS games as well. So this sucks. Because again, Sven is a role-swapping player. Yes, him getting to play European solo queue and grind and all this stuff is great, but he missed the entire Korean boot camp. We also know that C9 hadn't really thought about Sven playing support during the spring split, because it seemed like he was still playing AD carry and stuff at that time. It seems like, him role-swapping to support was something that was decided in this offseason. So I don't think he was playing support when he was in Los Angeles previously. Then he goes back to Europe. He was not able to go to Korea, so he has not been able to duo or play bot lane with Berserker yet. He hasn't been able to scrim, practice, or play with his new Cloud9 teammates yet either, which is now Fudge up in the top lane, Jensen in mid. There's a lot of moving parts and stuff going on there. And now he's still not able to come back to the LCS yet. And again, this could very well lead to him missing some LCS regular season games. But even if he doesn't, say this is all able to work out, say he's able to get back to the LCS in time, say he is actually starting week 1, he is still going to be at a severe disadvantage right off the bat, because he will have had at minimum much less scrim and practice time than everyone else, and at most he will have very minimal to none practice, scrims, anything like that, just because of how everything is going. Now this sucks that Cloud9 is running into all these issues, and there is still even more stories to talk about. I'm gonna I think post probably one more video about all the bad news and stuff that's happening with Cloud9, because obviously we've talked about Berserker, we've talked about Sven, we still need to talk about Fudge a little bit and his whole situation, what's going on with him, because that's a whole nother story. But I don't want to just drag this video on or make it too long or anything like that. And I want to, try to get multiple videos out. But yeah, this sucks, because obviously Sven hasn't even played competitive this last split at all either. So he's coming back to competitive, that involves shaking some rust off and getting back into the groove and everything. And then he hasn't played support ever professionally in his career. Or I don't think he's played support professionally in his career, at least not any time in the last 6 or 7 years or anything like that. So a lot of moving parts, a lot of things that are going to be difficult to pull off, and a lot of things not really going well for Cloud9 right now. I don't know when Sven is going to be able to get back to the United States, but again, I just know at the time of recording this video, he didn't go to the Korean boot camp, and he is not back in the United States with the team yet when the team is there practicing, scrimming, preparing for the season. And we don't know if he's going to be there for week 1. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, just more kind of visa, green card, passport issues, all this kind of stuff. Every offseason, some player, some team is plagued by these issues, and it's really annoying, especially for a team like Cloud9. Again, if these issues happen in the spring, it's annoying, but it's not the end of the world. You have the whole year to still gear up for Worlds. But for C9, when you're just doing this in the summer split, Sven didn't play support in the spring. He's just has a summer split to figure things out. You're on a very shortened timeline already. Missing weeks of practice, missing weeks of stage games, all that stuff. I think that stuff starts to matter even more. And then even if Sven is able to get back to the United States and start practicing, scrimming, and playing all that stuff, Berserker's still not going to be here, so they're still not going to be getting to duo or anything like that. So this is just kind of a mess. Like I said, a little bit more bad news for Cloud9. I don't think the Sven situation is as bad as a Berserker situation. I definitely think Sven will be in the United States before week 4 of the LCS regular season, but I would not be shocked at all if he misses the first week or the first game of the season or something like that. But we'll have to wait and see if we get any new stories, updates, anything like that. I will definitely let you guys know. The Cloud9 Twitter, they also tweeted out this. They said, we are still evaluating our options for both LCS and Academy. So it sounds like Cloud9 doesn't really even officially know exactly what's going on yet either. But they still got 8 or 9 days to figure it out. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But that's pretty much everybody's video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. When do you think Sven's going to be back? Do you think Sven and Cloud9 are going to be okay? Are you worried about them? I don't know. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content. Hope to catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.